All praises to Yahawah, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. I'm gonna do a lesson on this particular verse in Luke, the first chapter, because I heard it for a different way today, and I want to talk about what I heard, man. All right, because it's very true. This is Luke chapter 1 and verse 68. Blessed be the Lord Yahawah, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he sware unto our father Abraham, that he would grant unto us, that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. Right? And that's the point, that we are going to have the chance in the kingdom to serve Yahweh without fear. Now, where does some of the fear come from? From us trying to serve Yahweh now, right? Because there's certain things that our law, the law that we was given from our father Yahweh, right? There's certain things in our law that require for people to leave earth, right? But we can't do those things in order to cleanse the earth from wickedness, because we've got a fear that Esau or any of the other heathens can rise up against us, man, in a carnal nature, in a physical nature, man. Any of these nations can rise up against us physically right now because we're in a cursed state, man. Right? We don't have the ability to serve Yahweh without fear. Right? If your wife commits adultery on you in this world, right, you've got to just take the L. Right? If a person steals from you, if an Edomite steals from you in this world, or bears false someone bears false witness on you, and they wanted you to go leave this earth and die, but then it turns out that they lied about you, you don't get to act out the justice that's supposed to happen, which is where they're supposed to get the judgment that they said you should get, right? You have to just take the L. We can't serve Yahweh in this world without fear, man, right? There's a fear to be able to properly do the laws, man. We can't properly do the law. We can't properly serve Yahweh because we're under a new Pharaoh, and the old Pharaoh didn't want the Israelites to serve Yahweh, right? But Yahweh was trying to tell the Israelites, was trying to free the Israelites from the land of the Egyptians because he wanted them to serve him. That's what Moses kept saying to Pharaoh, right? Let my people go, thus saith the Lord, so that they can serve me. Yahweh wants the Israelites to serve him, man. But these Edomites and all these other people that are amongst us and that are over us as well and helping to afflict us, they don't want us to serve Yahweh because they don't want us to be blessed. They want us to stay cursed, man. They don't care about this position that we're in where we kill each other, we stab each other to death, we commit adultery, where the so-called black woman hates the black man. They like you. They like that. All you so-called black women out there that you think that these heathens like you when they're allowing you to have power over the men of your nation, they don't like you. They hate you because they're trying to let you be by yourself. Because the women that will try and tell you, oh yeah, girl, the men of your nation ain't doing this, ain't doing that, right? They don't want you to take the men that are good options to be partners with from their nation, and try and get one of them men instead of them, and they'll show you that. Let there be not that many women, not that many men available in their nation for them to date instead of you, and see if they're still telling you all that stuff. Let all of these so-called women that are on that feminist marches with you black women, trying to tell you black women that you're oppressed by the black man, let them start seeing that all the Edomite men that they want to be with prefer you instead, and see if they'd still like you. And you already know what time it is. They'd start bunning out your hair. They'd start bunning out that you wear weave. They'd start talking about every single stereotype. They wouldn't like it no more, man. And that's why the Edomite man, in a lot of cases, has got to add it to the list of problems that he has with the Israelite man, because he's starting to realize that on some occasions now, because he's made the Israelite woman be a demon to us. He's starting to realize that on certain occasions when he's looking for an Edomite woman that he wants to be with, she don't want him. She'd rather date an Israelite man or another nation of men, right? They're starting to look at their own men as weirdos. And you Israelite women are secretly jealous that the Israelite man can get access to all these different women without really having to change who he is as a person, man. He don't really have to change who he is that much, and he can still get access to the types of women that he likes outside of you Israelite women when you've got a problem with us, man. And you don't like that. You think that the position that you're in, that these heathens are helping you, but they really did it to destroy you, man. We're supposed to serve Yahawah, and serving Yahawah means that we're supposed to follow the laws properly, and our laws says that the men can have multiple wives. And you women that have got a problem with that, right? Ask yourself this question, right? Ask yourself this question. Do you fulfill your men's nature of that kind all the time? Most of you, the answer would be no. Do you make sure that you go to the gym so that you look the best you can be for the man that you're with? No, you don't, right? Israelite women, for the most part, so-called black women, for the most part, don't really go to the gym. They don't really do exercise, man. They'll be 200 pounds talking about the slim thick, lying to themselves, man. They'll be 200 pounds looking at the so-called black man that's 200 pounds talking about, oh, I need men that are bigger than that. I need a big man to deal with me. Like, you're a bit too skinny for my liking, when they're way too big for his liking. And this ain't even no video to get on the black woman. I'm just talking about how ultimately we're supposed to serve Yahawah, be able to serve Yahawah in fear. But part of our laws calls for the women to be in a certain state and for the men to be in a certain state. The men are supposed to have power, more power in the nation than the women. And in doing that, because the men are supposed to treat the women with a certain level of respect because they're the weaker vessel, the woman ends up having power. Anyway, she ends up having a better situation anyway. Right? But we can't do that in this world, man. We can't serve Yahawah without fear. There's certain laws in the scriptures that we can't even do because we're not in a position of power ourselves, man. But in the kingdom, when we're under the new covenant, we will be able to serve Yahawah without fear. Verse 75, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. We can't properly serve Yahawah right now. And all these Christians that claim that they believe in the Lord, they don't even want to be able to serve Yahawah and do the laws. They can't even overcome their need to eat pork, man. They can't just say, you know what, let me have turkey rashers instead, you know. You know what, let me have chicken sausage or beef sausages instead. They're like, nah, I'm going to have pork because Acts says, when Acts don't say you can sin, there's nowhere in the Bible that it says you can sin. But then they'll say, oh, but that law was to the Israelites. But then they say, oh, we're supposed to only follow the 10 Commandments. But the 10 Commandments was given to the Israelites and put in the Ark of the Covenant, was it not? So you people are all over the place, man. You've just made up things that have become socially acceptable now that you think are true, but they're not true when you read the Bible. It's acceptable now for people that claim that they believe in the Bible to believe that every other human that Yahawah made, right, their genealogy is decided by their father. But then the chosen nation, their genealogy is not chosen by their father, it's by their mother. Even though when you read the Bible, you find out that it's chosen by the Father for everyone. Because that's how Yahawah made humans be. Humans are born from the seed of men. Right? They're from the seed of men. Just like all things have got a seed that it comes from. If there's a vineyard of grapes, right, and you put an apple tree, an apple seed in that same vineyard, guess what's going to come from that apple seed? Because it ain't going to be grapes. It's going to be an apple. An apple tree will grow there where that apple seed's been placed, man. Nothing else. So guess what happens if you put an Israelite seed into a Moabite woman? Guess what grows out of that? An Israelite, either an Israelite man or an Israelite woman. And guess what happened if you put an Edomite seed into a Philistine woman? An Edomite's going to grow out of that. Either an Edomite woman or an Edomite man. But because we can't serve Yahawah in fear without fear, right? None of these truths can get implemented on the earth, man. So people are living with lies. People have become accustomed to receiving lies, man. People accept that their government lies to them, but then they'll want to say, oh, the government lies to me. But then when I read this particular this particular news channel, oh, they're all right. This particular news channel that's got the ability to broadcast what they want to tell people to millions of people all over my country. Oh, this one's all right, but that other one, they're dodgy. But then this one here, nah, they're all right. They tell the truth, these guys do. No, they're all lying, man. They'll have a bit of truth with a lot of lies, man. A bit of truth with a lot of lies. Luke chapter 1 and verse 74, that he would grant unto us that we being delivered out of the hand of our enemies. I mean, we have to be away from these people, man. Because every single time when these people look at us and see us living righteously, if it means that we're better than them, they'll have a problem with that. All these people that are talking about in weapons of mass destruction and all that stuff in this world, right? Going back and forth, debating about things, right? If it was Israelites, if it was Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that made the Nord Stream 2 and 1 pipelines and was going to get all that money, right? That whole pipeline would have been disintegrated by all of these nations together. They would have all joined together to destroy that pipeline, man. And that's why when these heathens always see Israelites teaching, right? They always want to ask, oh, do you have a building? Do you have a building? Or do you have a building, or do you just do it out here? Because they want to find that, they'd want to find that building and fuck the building up, man. They'd smash the building down. They'd have petrol bomb the building. They'd have tried to get the police to try and plant something in the building. Right? They'd have tried to do something to try and jack the building up, man. They'd come by there, smash, throw a brick on the building, throw bricks through the window. They'd do something, man. But they can't destroy a spiritual temple. They can't destroy a spiritual temple, man. But we need to be away from these heathens and have power over them in order to show how the world is actually supposed to be lived in, man. Because every single time of these nations can look at us and see, oh, we can take their power away. They don't have to try and accept that we're their leaders then. But when Yahawah gives us such strength that they can't do nothing but accept that we're the power, that we're the power of the earth and the authority on this earth, then they're not going to be able to do nothing, man. And that's why you read about scriptures like this in the Bible. Psalm chapter 2 and verse 1, why did the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? All the efforts of these nations that they're doing right now is to try and stop us from ruling, because no matter how high up in the food chain these people get, right, these heathens, let one of these heathens stand by Deontay Wilder, right, just in an everyday normal scenario, and they're going to feel intimidated, man. They ain't going to feel like they can look him in his eyes, and like they're not going to feel like they're better than him. Or if they're standing in front of someone like Anthony Joshua, or if they're standing in front of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, just in a normal everyday scenario, they're going to feel intimidated, man. They're not going to feel like they're better than them. They're not going to feel that way. So that's why in order to make these people get fame, they'll want them to defile themselves in some kind of way. Or if they haven't even defiled themselves in any way that we can see, for example, like a guy like Anthony Joshua, that's why all these heathens got happy when he lost. Because they was like, oh, see, he's human. See, he's weak. He's weak too. Because it made them feel better about their weakness, man. And that's why all these heathens always used to get happy every single time Floyd Mayweather got punched once by a professional athlete. Another professional combat sports athlete that could destroy most humans in a fight with the hands. They were like, see, he got punched. He's not invincible, but he's always won though. They always want to try and find something against us, man. And that's why they don't accept that we're the chosen, because then they can look at us and see a fault. But the time's going to come where they're not going to be able to look at us and see any faults, man. Verse 2, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against Yahawah and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. They don't want us to be over them. But the time's going to come where they're not going to be able to do anything against it, man. They're not going to be able to find no fault in us. They're not going to be able to say, look, but you're saying this about us, but You kill your own people? No. You ain't gonna see that amongst us no more. In fact, let me get that scripture. Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the works of my hands, that I may be glorified. Now, can you say that about those people in the land of Israel? Because they're saying they're established, right? But do they say amongst themselves that there's some people that are practicing and some people that are not practicing? Do they say that? Do they say, oh, I'm a Jew, but I'm non-practicing? Don't they say that? That these people are jokers, man. And that guy Vocab Malone, right? He ain't real, man. He ain't real about believing in the scriptures, man. He's sent from somewhere, either from some elite somewhere or from Satan himself. He's been chosen to be a scoffer against the Israelites, man, because he ain't real. When he looks at those people, he tries to make it like he sees prophecy among them, right? But then when he looks at the Negroes, Native Americans, saying that they're Israelites, he tries to make it like that's just some vague thing that's not really real. He doesn't have an explanation about why they're doing it though, according to the Bible. Because there's no Bible prophecy that says that there's going to be some fake people that rise up claiming to be the Israelites like that in mass. There ain't nothing that he can show that says that they're going to use Deuteronomy 28 and say that they're the Israelites, but they're lying. Now, there is somewhere that says that they're going to say that they're the Israelites because it's true. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 1. But how comes none of these scoffers have been able to use the Bible to prove that we're not Israelites? Why not? And how comes the same people haven't been able to use the Bible to prove who they are according to the Bible? They've got all this mouth and all this lip service to say who we are, who we ain't. But how comes they can't use the same book to prove who they are? Since they know the truth of the Bible, right? How comes they can't use it to prove who they are then? Why not, man? Or how comes they can't use the Bible to prove who those people in the land of Israel are that are saying that they're the chosen? It's ridiculous, man. The amount of hatred that these people have. But guess what? We don't like you neither, man. You don't like us, and we don't like you. And in the battle of the nations, the Israelites are going to win. So let's let that be known too. Luke chapter 1 and verse 74, that he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. Right? That's what we need the ability to be able to do, man. So if you're a Jake right now and you've got some money and all of that, okay, it's nice. Congratulations, man. You got a nice car, you got all of these nice things, right? But you're laying up your treasures where thieves can come in and steal. So you've still got that fear that even your own people are going to steal from you. Then on top of that, you've got the fear that the heathens can steal. You got the fear that you might be a ladies' man and get access to women and they're throwing themselves at you, right? You can't even step out your house without women being like, oh my goodness, it's him, right? You could be one of those guys, man. One of those ladies, smooth as hell, Casanova type cat, right? But you still got the fear that one of these women could make a false allegation against your ass. Now you're going to jail, right? You're able to say things in these women's ear, get them to do all of these things for you, get them to take pictures of themselves to make money, but then they give the money to you, right? You could be one of those guys and all of that. You think now that's the way to make it in this world, but that ends up getting used against you because that's not the way to live anyway. Those women, all those women that like you, should have been your wives, right? And you should have been able to have every single one of them, but they become your wives. Not you sleep with them once and then send them back to their husband like a demon. All those women should have been with you or been with the first man that they was with, and then that man has the ability to continually keep getting more and more and more women, right? And that would aid in him in his need for wanting to continually increase his financial wealth, because in this world, a man gets told have one woman. So once a man gets himself to a certain amount financially, if he believes what he's told about just having one woman, what's the need for him to keep getting more wealth? When one of the things that men desire is women. What would be his need? He's only going to have one woman. He's only going to have a few children. That's what they'll say to you, right? So why does he need all this extra wealth then? He can just relax then and just dwell with that and be happy with that small portion that he's got now. But because we can't serve Yahawah without fear, we have to deal with the bullshit that these people have tried to push on us, which causes for us to be destroyed, man. This society that we've been given to live in makes us be at the bottom, man. And then none of these other people that try and make out like they're righteous, more righteous than us, none of them are keeping the laws neither. They've tried to come up with their own ways. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's the reason why we even lost the kingdom. Because we was doing unrighteous dealings, we was doing injuries, we was getting riches by deceit. We was defrauding our brother, keeping him in captivity longer than the 7-year period that we're supposed to have. Keep making our own brother serve us. I don't ever want to say captivity, making our own brother work for us as an employee, but then keeping it past the 7-year time frame that we're supposed to keep it, man. And not releasing them so that they can go and build up their own thing. We wasn't doing that. We was doing injuries and riches that got by deceit. So the kingdom was translated from us onto another people. Right? And that's why the disciples in the book of Acts, the 1st chapter and the 6th verse, was asking Yahawah, is it now that you're going to give back the kingdom to us? Are we going to get the kingdom back now? But it wasn't the time then. It's the time now. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's the reason why Esau is going to lose his kingdom. That's the reason why, man. And look, I want to get this scripture for all the people that say, oh, the law don't matter. Right? The law matters, man. Now, we can't keep it perfectly, but the law matters. And if there was ever any action that we're ever supposed to do, right, we're always supposed to, if the best choice, let me say it like this, of all the decisions that we make on this earth, right, the best choice is always the one that's written in the scriptures. Always the one that's written in the law. Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 4, they that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them, because you are showing another way. When you even speak about the laws, you're showing that there's another way according to the opposite to what this wicked society is talking about, man. You're approving their thoughts when you show that there's another way. So when there's people saying, oh, I think that there's an innumerable amount of agendas, when you go into the scriptures and you show actually there's two, you're contending with them because you're not just listening to the BS that they're feeding you. When you're saying that, when you hear people say, oh, women and men should only be the one together, right? But then when you actually go into the scriptures and you find actually the Bible don't say that, then you have to actually analyze that scenario, man. And you can see why that would happen. You can see how it would be better because you would understand that there's a benefit for that to happen, man. There's a benefit for that. And if there wasn't a benefit, then why did Yahawah say it can be? Why? Why? And that's what you people don't want to accept, man. It's ridiculous. This world that we're living in right now is wicked, right? Verse 12, when righteous men do rejoice, there is a great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden, right? And we can't rejoice right now because we ain't got nothing, man. We're destroyed. But a day is going to come where we can serve Yahawah without fear. I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahawah, Ba'asham Yahawah Shai, Ba'asham Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.